All right, we're recording. And slideshow from start. Bam! Wow! We got our new cord. We're showing it on the wall. Woo woo! Yeah, it was this little cord. First we bought the big cord because that was cheaper. Now we have two new cords. And now we can see it on the wall. Yay! December 15th, 10 days till Christmas, 16 days till the end of the year. How many pendings we got up on that board? Two pendings. You selling anything?
Me?
Yeah. You selling anything?
Yeah, 451 plank.
That's one of the two, though, right?
Yeah, mine.
Yeah, you two have the two pendings.
Yeah, that's why we're here today.
Our goal every month is 20 pendings, right? 20 pendings. So we are only 10% of the way there, and half the month is gone.
12
So
listings.
we got 12 listings.
No, that's our goal.
Oh, our goal is 12 listings, which.
I think we have 3 or 4.
Well, yeah, I'm more concerned about the pendings than I am the listings, but listings lead to sales as long as they're priced right. They lead to expense if they're priced incorrectly. So anyways, hopefully people haven't taken the month off, because that's not a good thing. Meet me at the Eagle. I didn't read this week. What's he talking about, Rachel? Half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is I don't know which half. That's true. When a customer enters my store, forget it. He is king. Keep up the old standards day by day. Raise them higher.
Basically, he talked about going shopping as a kid and the, magic and joy. And he and his family always had a meeting spot at the Eagle, and that was kind of their tradition.
The Eagle?
Mm-hmm. It was in a big.
That must be the picture that we're seeing.
Oh, I don't know what the picture is. It might be the next picture.
Doesn't that look like Grand Central Station?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There was an eagle statue that they always met at, and that was his whole spiel.
Okay.
It wasn't that good.
Well, on this topic, Christmas shopping. If we don't sell houses, we don't have money to go Christmas shopping. I think we all know that. Congratulations, Crystal Beeler, for selling 7 Reichert's Lake Road in Sand Lake. Yay. And congratulations, Dina Fitzpatrick, for selling 14 Longview Drive in Clifton Park. Nice house. We need more people like you. We have an ISA that is calling for listing appointments now, and nobody has paid into the ISA program. So in order to be eligible for it, you have to be proficient in the doors listing presentation. If at some point we find that this new ISA is proficient at her job at getting appointments, then we will open it. We'll go back to the old system of who wants to buy into it. But for now, because, she's brand new and it's hit or miss, I'm not really charging anybody anything for it. But you got to be able to do the doors listing presentation. If you can't do it, all the training is on Weichert University. It's really easy to do. I learned it without even taking the training. I just went out and winged it because I've done probably 1,500 listing presentations in my time. So I was able to tell just from the pictures what they were talking about. But it's a 2-step process. Not a big fan of that, but I can tell you this. Every one that I've ever done, I've gotten a listing. So there's something to it. We have Sydney, who's calling a plethora of Boomtown leads, and as she converts them, we're giving them out to agents that are actually working the business. So we've got some agents that probably don't even know where the office is, but the agents who are doing business, we're feeding them out to them as she converts them. She's had missed some time last week because this is finals time at college, but she's back in this week, so she's going to start hitting those. And then we're going to have somebody start calling existing agents at other companies. Again, remind you, and Deb, I don't know how we're going to track this, but they bring an agent in, and we're supposed to pay them a percentage of what that person does. So if they, I think it's 10% of the total. So if they made $1,000, the person that brought them in gets $100. So somehow we got to figure out how to track
For
that.
what's that for a year?
Yeah, for the first year. Career night every other Tuesday. Tonight is the night, but Rachel just told me we don't have anybody confirmed for this. I don't hold it unless I know somebody is coming. Otherwise, I have to come back up here, open the place up, sit around for a half an hour, wait for nobody to show up, and then lock the place up and go back home, which I got better things to do than that. So if you know agents at other companies, I believe that we have a strong value proposition. I pretty much know what everybody offers, and I think ours is better than everybody's. So let me know if you know somebody. We'll call them. KPIs. I guess we didn't put these in. Oh,
First to respond was Dina.
Dina. What? She's present. She gets a Price Chopper gift card.
She is.
I didn't get my last one. I'll get two.
Your last one. Were you present?
Yes,
Oh, you have to be present?
I was.
How else would I know?
Well, you
I
could have
think
watched it on.
4 times. No.
Yeah, 4 times. What do you want me to buy your groceries this week? Okay. And again, the public relations, I know we say this every week, but we say it every week so that you know it. That's the only way you learn something and remember something is repetition. So I'll be on a little bit of a tangent. If you don't have scripts nailed, I was just talking to an agent over the weekend, and they're complaining to me that they're not having much luck with Boomtown. I'm like, do you know LP Mama like you know the back of your hand? And this agent said, I feel like I have that script pretty solid. Pretty solid is almost there. Doesn't sound like it's all the way there. You should be able to do LP Mama without looking at it, just from memory. And then that's only a piece of it. Then you got to get the buyer into the office because LP Mama gets you the appointment. Once you're in the office, do you know the buyer's presentation? If you don't, that's on Weikert University. You can learn it there. You got to watch these things repeatedly. That's how I learned my scripts. When I was at KW, I bought one of those KW script CDs and put it in my car. And everywhere I drove, I was listening to that Diana, what's her name? Kokokas? Yeah, something like that. I was listening to her squeaky voice over and over and over. And Brianna was 4 years old in a car seat in the back. And one time she went, Dad, wait, I know what she's going to say.
It's funny.
So a 4-year-old can learn these scripts. I'm quite sure every one of you guys can. Oh, God, I can't think of his name, but I know who you mean.
His voice is easier on the ears.
Yeah.
I like Borino.
Borino? Yeah. I have his stuff. Okay, leads, open house guests. We only had 2 this week because we only had 1 open house. Open houses do a lot of things for us. I'll quiz you, but I won't because you're like holding your heads up. Debbie immediately takes her head off. Were you one of those kids in school? Yeah. Teacher called. I have no idea what you just asked me. I was sleeping with my eyes open. Yeah, open houses.
It's a cornerstone of Weikert. You have an open house. It's putting up 7, 8.
Whoa!
Times. It's it's one of their big.
She just won a gift card.
I
think we have.
2 guests then.
Depends on the location.
I
The
have
location
one.
has a lot to do with it. You
And
can.
advertising for it.
You got to social media. Don't anybody say the newspaper.
Nobody.
The newspaper is a dinosaur.
Not anymore. Got it off the internet. Zillow,
Yeah.
orders on Zillow.
You know, what proved that to me was when I was at KW, I had a house in Latham, lots of roofs around it, and we did an open house. One of my agents did an open house there with advertising in the Times Union, social media, signs, you name it. And we got 6 people. The next weekend, one of the other agents in the office wanted to do an open house, Jennifer Herbst. So I let her, and I said, look, you can do it, but I'm not putting an ad in the paper. That's okay. She did everything exactly that we did, except the Times Union, and she got 6 people. So the Times Union, you know, when you ask these people, even if they're in the paper, where did you see the open house?
Mhm.
Most are either going to say the signs or I saw it online somewhere.
The only place the newspaper works that I found is in construction and particularly that 55 plus
Yeah.
genre because they still read papers.
Even the newspaper advertising, though, you know, if you look at their print numbers, they go down every year. And eventually, the Times Union will refute that because, well, we just made a huge investment in printers and printing presses and all that stuff. And that's because they're going to take over printing everything. They're going to become a printing company. Yes.
James just asked if the seller wants to run an ad in the newspaper, should we steer them away from it? Yes or no?
If the owner's going to pay for it or we're paying for it. If we're paying for it, you steer them away from it. If the owner wants to waste their money on it, knock themselves out.
I'll waste $20 on those little Times Union easy ads to make them feel good sometimes.
Mhm.
It's a waste of money.
It is.
But sometimes it's
Uh,
like somebody's really hell bent on newspaper. Oh yeah, put it in the paper.
Weikerly Network customers, we got 6 new ones. Did we post that article that Pete sent me about new leads, old leads on Weikert Works? Everybody read that? If you haven't, go to Weikert Works and look in the feed that runs down and go down farther, and you'll see the article. And it really is talking about the value of old leads versus new leads. New leads are, picture yourself walking into a store and you're just a car. Let's use cars. You're just starting your search for a car, right? You're a brand new lead. Are you buying a car that day?
No,
Probably not.
You don't want to be bothered.
Right.
Yeah.
But you've been searching for a car for 6 months. Are you closer to buying a car? You're much closer. So the old leads are really where the value is. And I can tell you from looking at the back end of Boomtown, we ignore them. Everybody is hopped up on new leads. And if your focus is new leads, you got to get lucky in order to sell a house because most people don't register and go, yeah, I want to buy that house. Office generated leads, 36. Opportunity time, 36. Moxie.
This was Anna's friend Brandon that was supposed to join us from Prime Lending.
Oh, this is the, okay.
Fashion guru.
And what did she offer us? Like
She
concept?
offered some discounted consultation services. She
Okay.
also has a photographer to do headshots if you wanted to.
Okay. Well, if you're interested in any of this, see Rachel. Maybe we could put this up on, and when you do call her, if you do contact her, you got to mention Prime Lending to get your discount, I guess. Office training schedule. Fast Track starts January 5th, and there's going to be 2 shifts, 11 in the morning and 8 o'clock at night. So if you haven't done it, you should do it. Again, when you do it and you complete it on your next transaction that you close, we'll give you the $169 back. You just have to remind us that we owe you $169 at that point. And I know we have given this to agents, so it's not that hard. All you got to do is say, Bob. Weikert Wednesdays, Tuesday, today,
Yeah.
at 3 p.m. Different time, different day.
Yeah, they changed it this week.
I don't know why. But anyways, Weikert 1 and Weikert University. So if you're not proficient in these, you probably want to jump on this call and listen in and get a little expertise. Success Track is this Friday at 1 to 3. If you're talking to agents, it's all about Weikert. You can have them watch this and they'll find out about it. Brokers opens. Why did we put that one's picture up?
That was one that you sent me from Judy Gabler.
Oh, okay. Did you see that there was a breakup of the Peak team at Realty USA? Those teams, they don't work.
Who's?
I don't care. Everybody's trying to promote them. They don't work, you know?
The only way I've seen they work is when the team leaders understand.
Is providing value.
Yes, is providing value and understands that the only way it's going to succeed is if people are making money.
Right.
If you're being a fat cat on the top,
Which 99% of them are.
people don't want to do it.
Right.
You know.
They will smarten up. I think what happened here, I probably should shut the recording off here, but I think they probably went in it as equal partners. And that never works. Never works. If everybody in this room was equal partners and Dina had the highest volume and I had the lowest volume, at some point she's going to go, why am I supporting him?
Right.
Right? And then she's going to go, I'm going off on my own.
Well,
I'm going to go start my own team.
When
Or
you get a
I'm just
team
going to go
down.
do my own thing. Right? So, I said that was going to, I said when I first saw that, if those people are all equal partners, then it's not going to work. And if they're trying to start a big team, they got too much at the top, and too much work to do down below,
What about, it might work if you did, if you paid people salary from like a paid admin, obviously,
Yes.
and then a paid showing assistant.
Yes.
And that would work.
That will work.
Because you get people who don't want to do sales per se, but
Yep.
like the
That's
process.
basically the concept of Select Homes in Wichita, Adam Bailey's
Yeah.
company and Mike Gerbich's. Those two guys are partners, and they have agents who are basically just showing agents, and then they have a couple listing agents, and that's all the list. They're basically the book,
Right.
the red book,
Right. And they
to
pay.
a T.
Yeah.
And that's all a showing agent does: is show houses, recite the script inside the house, sign the people up, make the offers. Then Mike and Adam negotiate the offers, and that's all they do. They have one little job to do, and then there's people calling the leads and going, "Hey, this one wants to go see this house." And
I watched a video on that last night, and they had 600 homes. When
who-
they did it that way. I can't remember the guy's name. I watch them all the time. I can't remember his name.
Okay, well, my friend Adam and Mike, those guys, they have 20 agents, and they sold 1,150 homes this year.
And I bet their agents are making money.
Their
Yeah.
agent, well, they're all doing 50, 60 deals.
Wow.
Right.
Right.
And-
Even if they're getting only 35% of the money, they're getting 35% times 50.
So they don't care what the percentages as long as they're making.
They're cranking
I
deals.
did 2 years of weekends on the team and made, like $19,000. I'm like,
Yeah.
it wasn't even a good part-time job.
No, you'd have made more if you were working at Macy's.
Yep.
Okay, so open houses today. We've got in Albany, Equitas. I don't know how Janet's doing it, but good for her. She's growing that company. And she's trying to recreate the Keller model. I don't know how, yeah, they have
Janet who?
Bashir.
Bashir.
Used to be Keller, she's partners with Mark Lights.
204 South Main is Judy Gabler and Farron Wagoner. I think I said her name right. Anybody know her? She was on that team with Judy. Steve Gervin has got one in Manans. I think he had a broker's open here a couple weeks ago on this one. Maybe it's a different one.
He said a couple.
Yeah. John DeBlasi has got one in Schenectady at West Highland Drive. I think, isn't that Niskayuna?
Technically.
No, it might be, you know where it might be?
12301?
I think the zip code's wrong, but it's probably off of Carmen Road, Highland Drive,
Oh,
by
okay.
O'Hara,
Out over
there.
by you?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it is. I think you're right.
it's really Gilderland. It's just gonna
Yeah, then Ellen Mark from Coldwell. Everybody says Caldwell. It's Coldwell. Has got two in Delmar.
She has a progressive open.
Ooh. Okay, forms. This, one of my buddies from across the country sent me this, and they track this every single day. This is one agent's sheet for one day. Made 549 dials. in one day. He had 99 no contact or contacts, 187 no contacts. He had 5 on the do not call list, even though he contacted them.
99 contacts in a day.
That's a lot of contacts.
Sorry.
Yeah. He got 90 answering machines, 148 no answers, 3 line errors. The reason I put this on here is because I think I mentioned this last week. I was just had lunch with a car sales guy yesterday, a buddy of mine, and I asked him, I said, how many calls do you think a stockbroker makes when they're trying to start their business up in a day? And he goes, 200. I said, no, 500. That's stockbroker numbers right there. And, 200, when he said 200, I said, they'll fire you at 200. If you only make 200 calls in a day, get out of here. You don't get it. Once they get rolling, they don't make 500 calls a day. But when they're first starting, they're calling. Now they get instant gratification because they can make a phone call and get a sale, right? And get paid like that, right? They'll get paid at the end of the week. But unfortunately, ours is a much longer cycle that we have to live through, but our paydays are bigger. And really the whole point of this is, how many calls are you making a day? If you think 25 calls in one day is a lot, no, it's not. Because look at the percentage of people that aren't going to answer, line errors, no contact. I'm sure that means no contact information. There's between the no answer and no contact, this 320 of the 500. So now you're down to 220, and he contacted less than half of those.
And only about an hour out of the day was actual talk time.
Right.
Dial time.
Rest was dialing. Yeah. So, and that's in less than 3 hours. But 1 hour of it was talking to people. And he's probably just scripting them and getting an appointment and moving on to the next one. I noticed even from our ISAs, and I'm going to be working on them, and I'm sure agents are no different than the ISAs, is we have a conversation and then we spend a whole lot of time before we pick up the phone the next time. And this guy is probably just going next. He's probably using a headset and a dialer. And that's what the job is. Anybody that thinks it's not is mistaken. Foreclosure filings fell nearly 10% month over month in November and are down 7% from a year ago. That's a good thing. Anybody know why? They were at astronomical all-time highs, first of all. They create inventory that is horrible.
Reduces them.
Brings the market down. It creates inventory that banks are sitting on. How many people have seen vacant homes that they're just like, when's somebody going to sell this thing? It sat there for years. That's called shadow inventory. Banks, when they were taking them back in abundance, held back some of the inventory because if they put it all out there at once, they'd crush the market. Right. 30-year mortgage rates creeping up. They're still under 4, which is a phenomenally great rate. I remember when they went to 8 and people were going, yes!
My first mortgage was like 11 and it could go up to 18.
Yeah.
Mine was 10 and a half and I paid 4 points to get it. However, everybody continues to project that 2016 rates are going to go up. Now, they're also projecting that 2016 is going to be the best year since 2006, which was a phenomenal year. And this is the reason they're projecting that, because the rates have been so long for so long, they've created apathy amongst buyers. It's like, yeah, okay, no, hell, if I wait, they might give me the money for free. Once people start seeing that rates are starting to creep up, that's going to create some motivation and a sense of urgency. So they'll get out there and be making offers. So this year should be a great year. The reason that I, going back a little bit, talked about the pendings, we only have 2 this month, is, we're I'm looking for this company to do more than the company did last year. And unit-wise, we're higher, but volume-wise, we're lower. Last year, we were in the top 25. I think we're 29th right now of all firms. Mortgage rates, and you can see here on the chart where they have been this year and where they're projected to go. That's a significant jump. I mean, if they're at 3.75 right now and they end up at 4.6 like they're projecting, that's almost a full point. Anybody know that 1 percentage point on your interest rate equals 10% in price? Do you know that? So if they're looking at $200,000 houses today, next year, if they go up 1%, they're going to be looking at $180,000 houses. So there's a way to inject some urgency in them. Existing home sales rose. Now, when the sales go up like this, the other thing, and I'm not sure if it's in this presentation or not, but our inventory is lower. That's why we're tracking new listings. We have 5 or 6 people take that Mark Leader course. Hopefully, they're using what they learned. We've got somebody in there calling expireds and FSBOs. I looked at the Vulcan system. There's a boatload of expired inventory out there. If you are talking to listings that were on the market and came off, and you're going to hear at this time of the year, what's the number one excuse they're going to give you?
After the holidays.
I'm going to wait
yeah,
till the
yeah,
spring.
Yeah, we wait till
Okay?
When there's some work in there, so.
Right. You're going to have more competition for that elusive buyer. Now is the time to put your house on the market because there's less competition, and in the winter, if somebody's looking, they're dead serious.
I wrote an offer on December 23rd last year. People don't believe me. I'm like, oh no, my house will never sell.
Yeah.
I said, well,
The thing I used to use when I was on listing presentations is it's like if houses didn't sell in December, I'd have to be a Walmart greeter, you know? Right. Some agents do. And that's another reason to be actively trying to secure listings now, because a lot of your competition has taken the month off, you know? They start at like Black Wednesday and don't come back until the snow melts. And they go, oh, I'm off to a lousy start this year. Well, you can go to work. Existing home sales up. Months of inventory. How did I know this was coming? We're at the lowest point of inventory in the last 4 years. If we don't have inventory, we can't sell anything, right? Months of inventory of homes for sale the last 12 months. Right now, these are national numbers, but I'm sure if we pulled local numbers, they would probably resemble them. We have 4.8% months. When you get under 4, that's a seller's market. We're headed to there. Listing call session. This is our new ISA. Did she start last Monday? She didn't start.
She started last Thursday.
Yeah. So she made 118 calls in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
So she's getting about 30 to 35 calls in. We only got her working like 3 hours or so, 3.5 hours. She's already got 3 appointments, which is a stunner because I always use my first ISA as an example. And I had that girl working 20 hours a week right next to me, and it took her 30 days to get her first appointment. And I remember thinking to myself on the 30th day, I'm going to have to let her go. And bingo, the light went on. Price improvements. Chris got 3 Locust Ave down to 174.9. I got Jermaine down to 119. That's a Lustron home. Anybody familiar with those? They're World War II, post-World War II homes that came in a box, and they are all metal homes, so there's no maintenance. And the cool thing about it is they're on the National Historic Registry because the company went out of business after like 3 years, and there's only about 580 of them in New York State. And then Babs got Grotto down to 64? I thought it was at 60. No?
It was at 68.
68? Okay. That's a short sale. Don't be afraid of short sales. Pete has somebody that it's one of those fee-driven things. It's an attorney who's doing it. So if you got a short sale that you're going to list, what everybody's doing with these fee things is, let's say Dean is listing a house and it's going to go short. I think the fee is like $3,000. So you put in the listing, the fee is this. It's a negotiation fee and it's paid by the buyer. So the buyer has to tack that on. And I think what most of them are charging now, I don't know how this is going to work on an expensive one, but I think they're charging the 3% seller concession. So like on this one, you're talking about $1,800 or something. But so there really is no seller concession that the person is going to realize who's buying it. All that money is going to end up going to the negotiator. And if you've ever tried to negotiate one of these things, you know that's probably worth every penny.
Yeah.
You know? So that does make them at least a little more appealing because they've had success. Pete had Gillespie Street in Schenectady. He's had for years. And we finally got somebody that could get through to these guys, and they were real successful.
Who was he using? Is it Jordan's? They seem to be doing a lot.
I don't know. You'd have to email Pete to find out. I think he got it from Phil Wagner, recommended this person. So 2 open house guests. We need more open houses. If you're a newer agent, this is a great opportunity for you. Reach out to agents with listings and see if you can hold their houses open. Judy Gabler, we mentioned her earlier. She's a young girl. She's in her 20s. She did $18 million last year in volume. How much money did she make? A boatload. She started doing other agents' open houses. And we know that because Erica went to school with her, knows her. And Erica was looking at her website, and every one of her testimonies, I met Judy in open house. I met Judy in open house. Well, when you're brand new and you don't have any listings, how do you do open houses? You do other agents' open houses. Whacker U, it's December. The holiday season's officially upon us. If we weren't in this meeting right now, what picture below best describes what you would be doing? I know which one is going to be Debbie, and I have not seen this. Not that one. I can't wait to watch Elf. Oh, I don't even like that movie. Great. I'll see you tonight at 7. That would be Judy Gabler. I thought there was going to be somebody on a beach. That would be Debbie on a beach.
I have to tell you, this is the first time I went in a long time that I didn't close a deal or write a deal when I was in Florida. Like
Well, if that's who says the same thing as Pete when he goes on vacation. Yeah. Hopefully, most of you are still going to be doing business through the holiday season. Close for the holidays. See you in 2016. I see so many. I can remember when I was at KW at this time of the year, there'd be like 5 people in the office, right?
Oh yeah, the vacation Christmas and New Year
It was nothing. Yeah, it was a ghost town over there. You could set off a machine gun. You'd only get me and Debbie was getting paid.
It's funny because a lot of people are home during that time. It's a good time to contact them. They may not even want to have you come in, but it's a good time to
make an appointment. Yeah. You can still work. You can work and still enjoy your holiday parties, your family gatherings, and other events. People with real jobs, they do. You know, they don't take a whole week off unless they're using their vacation time. And I see agents take 2 weeks off, take a week off at Thanksgiving, and then take 2 weeks off in the summer for vacation. I'm like, are you making $500,000? You can afford to take 6 weeks vacation? I can't. At these holiday events, remind friends and family that you're in real estate. It's a great opportunity without being obnoxious. Now's the time to put your foot on the gas, work now, and reap the rewards later. I don't know whether we posted on Wagger Works or not, but I did see something this week where it was talking about, the work that you do now is going to be your paychecks in 3 months out, right? And if you're not doing any work now, guess how many paychecks you're going to have in 3 months? None. The real estate market doesn't hibernate in the winter. Here are some reasons people can benefit from buying and selling during the winter months. Wow, we already started talking about this. Sellers are more flexible about prices and terms than they would be in the spring because they have fewer people looking at their house. Buyers should see preferable interest rates around the holidays compared to the times immediately before or after, due to limited demand for forcing greater competition among lenders. That interest rates are kind of remind me of gasoline prices. It's like when the summer hits, the gas prices are going up. Labor Day, they're coming down right after Labor Day. Fewer people overall are looking to buy houses, so your buyer will have less competition. I already said that. Smaller inventory of active listings helps the seller's property get more attention from buyers. Plus, at this time of the year, most of them look pretty cool, right? They're lit up and, there's no snow right now. Now's the time to be out there before we get bombarded with 4 feet of snow. The buyers who are looking for a home through the holiday season are more than likely very serious. I think I already said that. Sellers tend to net more than their asking price during the months of December, January. I just showed a house on Saturday in Saratoga to a contractor. It was a foreclosure. And I called the listing agent to just try to get some information. He said, geez, Bob, sorry, that house is sold. We had 16 offers. And it sold for more than list. Who here is a listing right now and is about to list a home on the market? Who here is currently working with a buyer and plans on looking for a home throughout the holiday season? What objections did you face, if any, and how did you handle them? What advice do you have for the group? I think I already talked about that. Try using this dialogue. I'm doing great, actually. I'm gearing up for a really busy 2016. The housing market's really going to heat up, so if you know anybody who's looking to move, have them give me a call. The winter is surprisingly a great time to buy and sell. This is you're at a party, friends and family, and they go, hey, what do they ask you?
Real estate market.
How's the market? Yep. And then I think they actually think like E.F. Hutton is going to jump in and,
I just had the girl at McDonald's window. I see her all the time. She said to me, oh, I haven't seen you in a long time. How's the market?
they all ask you that. It's like buyers and sellers. There's only like 10 things each one of those groups ask you. I've got those script books from KW in my office, and they're like 3 inches thick. And I'm like, you don't need all this. You only need like 10, But for listings, you just go on Zillow and see the questions that they say to ask your listing agent and be prepared to answer those questions. I laugh when I see them printed out to myself, I'm like, yeah, I see you get some questions there that you want to ask me. And then the number one question is, how many houses have you sold in this area? You ever get that one? And I always answer that this way. The last time I had it was that house I had on Glenwood in Schenectady. And that's near Union College. It's Glenwood, Parkwood, Waverly, Ardsley. And I know the 4 streets. There's other ones there, but I said to him, well, let's see, how many have I sold? Well, I sold a couple on Parkwood. I sold one over on Ardsley, 2 on Waverly, and then the plaza over there near the school, sold one over there. And then I looked out and I sold that green one across the street. And I said, let me ask you a question. If I sold every house in Schenectady and you hired me because I did that and I did not sell this house, are you a happy camper? No. That's a no answer. They got to say no. But if you hired me because I was a brand new agent, never listed a house in my life, but you liked my enthusiasm and you knew I had lots of time to dedicate to you, and I sold your house, are you a happy camper? And every agent starts with the first sale. And they're like, that's right. And by doing it that way, the rest of those 9 questions on their list, they never went to them. They just went, you know what? Yeah, we think we're going to go with you. It's nice, but I'm a little concerned about location. There's only a few things that prevent a house from selling. Location is one. Condition, right? But what fixes all of those things? Price, right? I was talking to Mike Field a couple years ago, and he was telling me, because I had called him about this listing, and he was sharing some frustration with it. And I said, Mike, what fixes any unsellable house? And he thought about it for a second. He goes, price. I go, drop the price. It's obviously not selling. I had one, and Steve Spardella stopped in to say hello the other day. So I was talking to him for a little while. And I was telling him about this listing that I just had, and I did the comps, and it comped out for about 380, 385. And their reaction was, well, we were hoping for 450. I said, well, I was hoping to hit the lottery too. And they go, well, could we try 409? And I said, did you ever try a diet? It's 385. And they started at 409. I agreed to do that as long as they agreed that in 30 days we were going to drop the price. And then we got two offers of 370. I negotiated back and forth. They started like 350, got them up to 370. The first one was all cash. And they said, no, we won't go less than 385, which in my mind is full price. You won't go less than full price. So then the second offer comes in, mortgage, inspections, the whole 9 yards, get them up to 370. And then finally I said to the people, you know, you've had two offers. Both of them, after back and forth, I got them up to 370. Want to know what I think? I think your house is worth 370. And they said, well, can you go back to the guy that's cash? So I call him back. He'd already bought another house. Mm-hmm. Your best offer is usually your first. That's all, folks. Good job. I like that. All right, peeps. Get to work. What did they? Who remembers Hill Street Blues? Remember that show? Yeah. And then he'd yell, "Hey, hey, hey! Be careful out there."